I'm Jezreel from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Last week, we discussed the Personnel Welfare Program under 21 CFR 117 Subpart B, Current Good Manufacturing Practices, Section 117.10, Personnel. This week, we will continue our discussion under the same section, focusing on the Personal Cleanliness and Hygiene Program requirements. Maintaining good personal hygiene is one of the most effective ways to prevent contamination and allergen cross-contact in food operations. All personnel who handle food, food contact surfaces, or packaging materials must follow strict hygiene practices to ensure product safety and protect consumer health. By understanding and consistently applying these hygiene measures, facilities can maintain compliance with regulatory standards, prevent food contamination, and reinforce a strong culture of food safety across all operations. By the way, this free training session is sponsored by Consultare Inc. Group, a compliance company. Founded in 2007, we began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end-to-end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSVP, PCQI, SQF, BRCGS, FSSC 22000, ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen their regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Let's review our training schedule. This week, we will focus on the requirements outlined in 21 CFR 117 Subpart B, Current Good Manufacturing Practices, Section 117.10 Personnel. Our discussion will center on the Personal Cleanliness and Hygiene Program. In today's agenda, we will focus on familiarizing ourselves with Personal Cleanliness and Hygiene Program under 21 CFR 117 Subpart B, Section 117.10. We'll start with a clear description of the requirements, followed by a walkthrough of the compliance action activities, which are scheduled tasks carried out on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and semi-annual basis to ensure ongoing certification readiness. We will also discuss the importance of the annual review and internal audit activities, which serves as checkpoints to verify the effectiveness of the program and maintain continuous improvement. After this section, we will open the floor for a Q&A session, giving you the opportunity to clarify any requirements and ask questions related to implementation. If you have questions as we go through the presentation, please feel free to type them in the chat box and we'll make sure to address them during the discussion afterward. As part of this training, participants will also receive their free 90-day access to the CGMP compliance management software upon request, which is a tool designed to streamline compliance activities, track corrective actions, and maintain audit-ready documentation. And finally, upon completion of this training, each participant will receive a familiarization training certificate. To ensure that you receive your certificate, please make sure that you have filled up the free certification familiarization training sign-up form that we shared in the chat box. On the screen, you will see a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. With that, let's move forward to our training session where we will be working directly with the 21 CFR 117 CGMP compliance management software. Let's start by going over the description of the Personal Cleanliness and Hygiene Program. Please take a look at the description on the screen. The summary of the requirements are outlined here to make implementation easier. It says all personnel in contact with food contact surfaces, or packaging must maintain hygiene practices to prevent food contamination and allergen cross contact. Key measures include appropriate outer garments to protect food from contamination, personal cleanliness, including regular bathing and grooming, hand washing before starting work, after leaving the workstation, and whenever hands are soiled, sanitize if needed. Jewelry control. Remove unsecure jewelry or cover items that cannot be removed to prevent contamination. Gloves. Keep gloves clean, intact, and sanitary if used. Hair restraints. Use hair nets, caps, beard covers, or other effective restraints. Personal belongings. Store clothing and personal items away from food handling or cleaning areas. Restricted activities. Eating, drinking, chewing gum, or using tobacco must be done away from food handling areas. Other precautions: protect food from contamination by perspiration, hair, cosmetics, chemicals, medicines, and other foreign substances. So you may update or edit the description as needed to reflect revisions when new versions or editions are released. To implement the program stated in the description tab, we've developed a list of action items found in the compliance tab. So this feature helps QA managers or QA supervisors, QC inspectors, stay organized by scheduling tasks based on their required frequency, whether they are carried out on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annual basis. So here are some examples of your compliance action items that you need to perform to comply with personal cleanliness and hygiene program. For your daily action items, this may include verify that all employees wear clean and appropriate outer garments before entering production areas. Check the employees wash hands properly before starting work, after restroom breaks, and after handling waste. Ensure sanitizers are available and used when required after hand washing. Confirm that no unsecured jewelry is worn in production or packaging areas. Inspect that gloves are clean, intact, and properly used for handling food and food contact surfaces. Verify that hair restraints such as hairnets, caps, beard covers are worn correctly and completely cover hair. Part of your daily activity is also ensuring personal items such as bags, phones, or clothes are stored in designated lockers and not in processing areas. Monitor that no eating, drinking, chewing gum, or smoking occurs in food handling zones. Observe employees for visible cleanliness, like observing their hands, nails, and clothing, which should be free from dirt or foreign materials. And verify that employees report illness or open wounds before entering production areas. For your weekly action items, this may include conducting a personal hygiene compliance audit using a hygiene checklist for uniform, PPE, grooming, or jewelry. Verify that hand washing stations and hygiene facilities are fully stocked with soap, sanitizer, or paper towels. Review and document employee compliance trends from daily monitoring logs. Inspect locker rooms and rest areas for cleanliness and segregation from production zones, and provide coaching or retraining for employees with hygiene nonconformances. For your quarterly action items, this may include reviewing and updating the personal hygiene policy and related SOPs for accuracy and regulatory compliance, conduct internal audit of hygiene practices and facility adherence to personal cleanliness requirements, review records of illness reporting and incident logs related to hygiene violations or contamination risk, and evaluate the effectiveness of hygiene controls like the hand washing behavior, PPE usage, or locker compliance. And for your semi-annual or biannual action item, this may include providing refresher training on personal hygiene and food safety behavior to all personnel. So these action items are aligned with industry best practices. You may either add your own compliance activities here or have our team preload the required tasks to help ensure full compliance with the requirements under this specific program. So to complete these actions, since your objective is to switch all the no's into yes, we've added instructions here, work instructions on how to perform each of these action item. So let's take a look at one of the specific action item. For example, let's pick number one, the first action item. Verify that all employees wear clean and appropriate outer garments before entering production area. Let's click on the work instruction here. So to perform that specific action item, first you need to conduct pre-entry garment inspection. So this involves inspecting employees before entering production area to ensure that they wear clean, appropriate outer garments such as smock gowns, lab coats or lab gowns, aprons, or uniforms. And you also have here your artifacts or records that you need to complete, like your pre-operational hygiene inspection checklist, your employee gowning compliance lag, or your supervisor pre-entry inspection records. Next step is to verify garment condition and cleanliness. So involved here is confirming garments are free from visible dirt, stains, tears, or damages that could cause product contamination. You need to complete the visual inspection lag, laundry or uniform cleaning records, or your non-conformance reports for soiled or damaged garments. Next step is to monitor compliance during operations. So you need to observe employees throughout production to ensure that garments remain clean and properly worn. So it needs to be fully fastened, sleeves are intact, hairnet hairnet overlap are maintained. So the artifacts or records that you need to complete are hygiene observation checklist, GMP compliance monitoring forms, or your corrective action reports if deviations are noted. Next step is to verify availability of clean garments and proper storage. So you need to ensure that clean garments are provided daily and stored separately from used or soiled clothing to prevent cross-contamination. You need to fill up the laundry service lags, your storage area inspection checklist, and issuance or return records of garments. Next step is to conduct refresher training and communication. So it involves training employees on garment hygiene policy, donning or doffing procedures, and contamination prevention. You need to fill up the training attendance sheet, your training materials, and SOP copies. You need to prepare them, and employee sign off acknowledgement forms. And finally, maintain documentation and conduct periodic review. So you need to file and review garment inspection and training records regularly to ensure ongoing compliance with CGMP hygiene requirements. Your artifacts or records that you need to complete here are your hygiene audit, summary reports, record retention logs, or management review meeting minutes. So this is just an example of how to complete a specific action items based on the work instruction provided here. So to complete these actions, you need to upload supporting document as evidence of compliance. So let's take a look at the evidence of compliance that verifies completion of this specific action item. So let's click on the view button here. So the form or the record uploaded here is the personal cleanliness and hygiene verification record. So as you can see, this document details the daily verification process confirming that all employees entering the production, packaging, and receiving areas are wearing clean and appropriate outer garments such as lab coats, aprons, or uniforms. Each entry records the date, time, area, employee name, garment condition, compliance status, corrective actions taken, and verifier's initials, demonstrating accountability and traceability. So the example here shows one non-conformance where an employee's lab coat was not clean, which was immediately corrected before entry. Overall, the record shows that the facility has an established system to maintain hygiene standards, prevent product contamination, and document compliance with FDA's current good manufacturing practices. It also supports internal audits and inspections by providing verifiable proof that hygiene verification activities are consistently conducted and reviewed. So once you've performed the activities and completed the supporting records, your compliance status here will update from no to yes once approved by the reviewer and the approver. So your goal is to perform all these compliance activities according to their scheduled frequency to ensure that your facility, your processes, and the documentation remain fully audit ready. Once again, these are simply examples of compliance best practices that you can adapt in your facility. You may also customize or develop your own action items tailored to your specific processes. Next, let's go over the annual review tab, which also serves as your gap assessment tool. So this tab is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaires aligned with the 21 CFR 117 requirement. So it lists all required annual review items to help you maintain compliance. And here you'll find the annual review items that should be reviewed to maintain compliance with the personal cleanliness and hygiene program. So some of the annual review questionnaires are the following. Are all food handling employees wearing clean and appropriate outer garments before entering production areas? Are employees maintaining proper personal cleanliness for their hands, nails, uniforms, and grooming? Do employees wash hands before starting work, after breaks, and when hands become soiled? Are sanitizers available and used appropriately where required? Are unsecured jewelry items such as rings, bracelets, watches removed before entering production areas? Are gloves clean, intact, and used correctly when handling food or food contact materials? Are all employees wearing proper hair restraints such as hairnets, caps, beard covers that fully cover hair? Are employees' personal belongings stored in designated lockers and kept out of food handling areas? Our food handling employees observe free from visible contamination sources like perspiration, cosmetics, medicine, and others. Our employees with open wounds, illness, or skin conditions restricted from handling food or food contact surfaces. Our hygiene facilities such as hand washing sinks, soap, sanitizer, paper towels available and fully stacked. Our locker rooms and break areas clean, organized, and located away from food production zones? Are no eating, drinking, smoking, or gum chewing rules enforced in food handling areas? Are hygiene posters and reminders displayed in critical hand washing and gowning areas? Are PPE and hygiene equipment like hairnets, gloves, or uniforms available in sufficient supply? Is a personal hygiene compliance checklist used and maintained regularly? Are daily and weekly hygiene monitoring records complete and reviewed by FSQA or supervisors? Are incidents of hygiene noncompliance documented with corresponding corrective? Are internal audits conducted to verify effectiveness of personal hygiene and cleanliness programs? And are employees provided with refresher training on hygiene and personal conduct at least annually. So just like in the compliance tab, we have also added here work instructions or compliance activities to comply with the requirements and specify the artifacts or forms that will serve as evidence of compliance. So for example, to complete the audit checklist, let's pick one here. Are hygiene posters and reminders displayed in critical hand washing and gowning areas? So let's click on the work instruction here as part of your verification. So to complete this specific annual review item, you need to inspect placement of posters and signage. So this includes checking that hygiene posters, hand washing instructions, and gowning reminders are clearly visible at all hand washing sinks, gowning stations, and entry points to food handling areas. So your artifacts and records are facility signage checklist, photo documentation of postings or pre-operational inspection lag. You also need to verify content accuracy and legibility. So you need to ensure posters provide current, correct instructions and are easily readable by employees. So your artifacts or records here include signage verification log, SOP or guidance reference, or employee feedback or observation records. Next, you need to monitor employee awareness and compliance. So this includes observing employees to confirm that they follow the guidance from posters and reminders during gowning and hand washing. Next is to maintain signage and replace as needed. So ensure worn, damaged, or outdated signages are replaced promptly. Next is incorporate signage review into training. You need to include posters and visual reminders in training sessions to reinforce proper hand washing and gowning practices. Then your artifacts or records include training attendance sheet, training materials or SOP references, and employee acknowledgement forms. Next is to review signage compliance during audits. So you should include inspection of hygiene posters in GMP audits and internal hygiene checks. You need to record the GMP audit checklist or report, internal audit summary, or CAPA records for any non-compliance. And finally, annual review and update of signage policy. You need to review the content and placement of the posters annually to ensure alignment with regulatory requirements and operational changes. And to do that, you need to complete the updated SOP for signage and hygiene reminders, a revision history log, or a management approval record. Now, to provide evidence of compliance for this specific annual review item, you may upload picture evidence. Like in this case, the personal cleanliness and hygiene poster. So it's just an example of an image which shows a hygiene station in a food facility with clearly displayed posters on hand washing, gowning procedures, and personal hygiene rules above a stainless steel sink. So this visual reminder supports compliance with 21 CFR 117.10 by reinforcing proper hygiene practices that prevent contamination and maintain personal hygiene practices in critical areas. So your goal here is to complete all these annual review items to keep your site fully prepared for both internal and external audits in compliance to 21 CFR 117. Finishing this checklist confirms your compliance and ensures that your facility and documentations are audit ready at all times. Now let's move forward to the Q&A session. We encourage you to ask any questions related to today's topic on CGMP 117.10 personal cleanliness and hygiene program. So you may type your questions in the chat box, or you could also email us at hello@consultareinc.com.